Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Uh, Happy Monday, I guess, start to another week. Today, I don't have a great read on the market today as far as the draw goes or as far as something obvious. I'll go over what I kind of have marked out in just a second. Um, but at the moment, the only thing I'm really looking at is the SMT between Wednesday, April 2nd and Friday's highs on the daily chart. I think that could probably take us a little bit lower. What's up, old FF? How are you, man? Happy to see you here. Hope you had a good weekend. So yeah, I'm looking at the daily SMT. Maybe that gives us a deeper retracement on the 4-hour daily chart, as opposed to just continuing up higher. Earnings is still going on. We have some news today, 9:45 and 10 o'clock. High impact at 10. So yeah, let's see. I just want to bring up this stream on my phone so that way I could answer chat while I trade. Good, man. I'm glad you're doing well. Happy to hear that. Happy to hear you're doing good. Are you trading today? So 9:30 market is opened. You'll see that we're green already on the day, about 450 bucks. It's because I took a trade in Asia last night. There was SMT on these lows on smaller time frames between ES and NQ, which you could see here actually on the hourly, or actually you can't. But in these lows, there was SMT on the small time frames, and I was looking for retracement up into this high, up into this fair value gap. So I got that. So we're green on the combine account. There's nothing super obvious for me, so that's why I haven't pulled out the XFA just yet. I'm really just trying to pick my shots with that. So now we have NQ into the gap. We also do have some SMT here on the London lunch. London lunch lows between ES and NQ. So yeah, like I said, I'm kind of watching all that, but I'm not exactly sure where we want to head to. So I'm trying to be very cautious today. Not very cautious, but just cautious in general. So that's cool, man. What are you trading today? What do you trade, FF? You trade gold, I think, right? Gold pairs. A little more SMT. Coming in on the 1-minute highs between ES and NQ. So this is actually incorrect data again. I have to send this to Topstep. Nope, there it goes. So the wick finally showed up. It's been doing that a lot. Yes, very good, man. So what do you think? What do you have going on for gold today? Do you have any analysis that you want to share? We also do have NQ supporting the bottom of this new week opening gap. I'm not dragging it over just because I want to avoid a lot of the clutter, but I am watching that. And again, we may just wait until 9:45 and 10 o'clock news, really just 10 o'clock to see kind of what's happening. As far as 4-hour candles go, 4-hour may want to continue to the downside. Could retrace, but I'm thinking maybe a downside continuation. And I'd like to see kind of this low swept out That's what I have marked out at the moment. You'll see that it's an hourly, or excuse me, a 15-minute equal low, which creates the 15-minute fair value gap as well. You can see ES and NQ did not take that. The Dow did, but it's a target for me nonetheless. And then I'll also, you do have these this wickless candle here from 8:30 on, I think that was Friday the 2nd, right? So 8:30 open. We may just mark that out too as a potential downside draw. Upside, I don't really have too much. As far as upside goes, I think, what was I looking at last night? I think these highs could be good. I mean, they were diverged. This is what I was kind of holding. I took the longs over here, or no, I'm sorry, took the longs in here, rode it up into here, and that was it. But I left a runner on. I ended up getting stopped out at it even anyway over here, but left a runner on for these highs and weekly open. Didn't get it, but that's okay. Had to do some cleanup work anyway from Friday's tilt-a-thon. So, yeah, I mean, you know, you have these low resistance failure swings here, here, here. There was a little bit of S&T on these ones, so you'll see that ES actually took that high by a little bit. So yeah, so you know, just kind of staying patient right now. What we're seeing is the London lunch SMT kind of play out. Wasn't really too much for me, and then what you also had was the inception. So you had ES being the stronger pair, then it becomes the weaker pair on the smaller time frame, and Q choosing to be the stronger pair on the smaller time frame. And then you have the expansion after that. And then I have my hourly charts, guys. I always have some higher time frame charts to my left up on my laptop, which I would show you if I had a detachable camera, but this one's built into the desktop, so obviously does not move. I could lift the laptop, but you get the point. Is that incorrect? No. So we have a bit of a difference between the MNQ contract and the NQ contract. You can see we're already in that gap on NQ. And MNQ, we have yet to reach into that daily volume imbalance. Kind of is what it is. NQ still showing some speed. Okay, this is, again, so see how wicks are not showing up? There's data that's missing. I mean, it's getting a little bit better now, but typically these wicks would stay gone for like ever. But I would know on smaller time frames that they weren't there, but it was confusing nonetheless. So I put in another request for Topstep to please fix that, just because it's never happened before until like whenever the volatility started coming into the marketplace, until a few weeks ago, and then it just kind of never has been back to normal, annoyingly, but you know, it is back, sorta, now. As long as time frames aren't freezing and everything, it's relatively okay, but it's just tough. Got my cat over here. I don't know if you guys could ever see him, but he's constantly crawling up over. So what are you up to for the rest of the day, FF? What time is it where you were at? Is it later? I'm assuming it's later in the day, right? Yeah, just nothing too exciting right now, guys. Not too much to do. I mean, you can see we're playing off that 15-minute fair value gap and the 5-minute right here. 5, 15, very tiny, but kind of rejecting it. If you look at the 1 minute, it's like a nice rejection there. But, 9 minutes till open. You do have a little bit of SMT on the 1 minute as well. May actually be worth exploring. I feel like that was my chance to get short. I'll let this one run away. See if I can find better downside targets. So that's on me for not being completely locked in, but we'll just draw it out real quick. 15-minute gap. These are the type of scalps that I like to take, so shame on me for not being battle ready. But 15-minute gap, then you have 1 minute SMT. So that's the correlated time frame pair. Here, right? SMT, SMT within the 15-minute gap. Drop down into your small time frames. Boom. Fair value gap, that's your initial entry short, risking this high. And the ad was using this as a protected high and getting short on the close below this candle. Unfortunately, just wasn't paying enough attention. I was looking at the chat and petting my cat, so that's okay. So nice retracement off of that move. See if it wants to take this low. Again, I do think 8:30 from Friday is reasonable. I may actually even just draw that out how it's meant to be with my 8:30 line, which I usually never use, but there it is. It's a green one. For midnight, I use blue, which reminds me I haven't marked out midnight yet. Let's go here. Yeah, I mean, there's actually a few things that I just not really fully locked in. I mean, I, I saw the setup anyway, but this would have really prompted me to pay a little bit more attention had I had midnight marked out. It kind of makes a lot of sense. So, whatever. What are you gonna do? I feel like I'm gonna put something up on YouTube, maybe like an Ask Me Anything, like a Q&A or something. Still holding the S&T on the downside between NQ and ES on these lows. It's a little bit of a chop fest before news. We have 9:45 news in about 2 minutes. So here we go. We swept that low. Yes, sort of did the same thing. Swept this one as well, all the way down here. By a tick or so, but still did it. I like these highs. I like this gap. So yeah, it's just a big waiting game for now. I mean, I don't know if I don't know exactly what's first. Like I said, I don't have an excellent read on the market today. There's just nothing super clear and obvious. If we want to zoom out, like the hourly, I mean, the hourly looks good. You know, poised to kind of want to move higher. It's just a matter if it wants to get through this gap or not. Some news in about 15 seconds here. So there goes some of it. Divergence on the highs between Dow and the rest of the other indexes. I guess I might as well mark out Dow's new week opening gap as well. So NQ moving higher, ES retreating, Dow retreating. Wonder if NQ wants to touch into that 15-minute gap one more time before kind of leaking lower. I'm not really not positive. Still holding the back end here of the 15, or excuse me, the hourly gap. There goes off the midpoint, trying to find some sort of support. Holding this order block high on the 15-second chart, which is pretty impressive. The hourly looks a lot more like it wants to run up higher up into this gap. I don't necessarily know if this is a breakaway. It could be because of the S&T on the daily. Let's see if it's making a move back up into that gap. Top step. A little bit of lag there. So just swept that high. Didn't really touch into that 15-minute yet. I wonder if that does the trick though as far as downside goes, because now we do have some divergence on the highs. Again, top step with data lag. We'll see how long it takes for that to show up, but we know that there's a wick on the upside here, only because we're scrolling through time frames. There it goes. I really should just mark down when that is in the stream. 19 minutes in the stream. Let me just write that down because then I have to scramble, and then I'm like, I don't really care. And I'm like looking through my streams, trying to find a time. Okay. Slightly suspect that ES. I mean, that NQ stopped just shy of midnight here, but you could kind of write it off as, ES ran into it, so it doesn't really have to, although there it kind of goes. And it's technically a form of divergence as well. just hesitating on pulling like the trigger on shorts right now because we do have that London lunch SMT on the lows that are clearly propelling price, but in the end of ends, it's just kind of choppy anyway. It's just a lot of conflicting action. And we do have news at 10, so let's check out the 4-hour chart. So yeah, I mean, the question is does the next 4-hour candle come up one more time around here, maybe even take the high, but then kind of run lower, you know? And we kind of make a descent lower because of the SMT on the daily chart. That's my best guess right now. I think we may have put in a short-term high. The 1 minute is very strong there on rejecting. Seems like I have to take it. Just not the right place at the right time today with the charts to get the risk that I like. Here's what I'll do actually. I'll mark this out because I don't have it marked out in my trading view. I'm going to take a couple here. Use that like this high pretty much as resistance or as my stopping point. Yeah, I'm looking at this to be a breakaway gap. I'd like it to be at least. Piling more into that. A little bit better of a move. The platform seems to be lagging now. I just feel like whenever I'm in trades lately on the platform, it's just been really laggy. I don't like how quickly it's getting shoved in that balanced price range, although ES is coming down to take down the SMT lows here, which is more welcomed. Yeah, good rejection off the hourly. I kind of wanted to add fat there, but we're going to keep an eye on this order block on the low time frames. Still just more SMT on the lows. I'm going to have to cut this trade if it really doesn't start moving a little nicer for me. Still have my stop in the same spot. I like how it's rejecting the bottom end of the hourly gap. That's comforting. Don't like that action. Yeah, I'm not feeling comfortable in the trade right now. I'm definitely going to be reducing risk. Just above that kind of up close candle high. See if we can get a partial off there. Yeah, just got stopped. That's fine. It was just very hesitating, like very skittish of a trade. Let's see if did it come up into that 1 minute gap? I think it did. Yeah, still hasn't taken these lows either. Just made equals. You know what? I will try more there. Oh, okay. That was actually my stop was right above this high. Just kind of happened to take me. That's okay. Still using that 1 minute as resistance. I would have much rather liked it to act a little bit more, or at least behave a little bit more on the smaller time frames. So I'm actually going to just let it go for now instead of, aggressively re-entering. Because there's no real point that I think it should have done what it did to kind of go higher. News in about 4 minutes. But yeah, the platform has just seemed very laggy lately. And I don't know why. I want to type into the Discord in the Topstep Discord to see if they've had any problems themselves or if anybody else is having any sort of lag issues. So I just put in the what do you call it? The chat. See if anyone else has noticed some lag in the Topstep X platform. I saw one other message from 947, which was 10 minutes ago, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, just weird stuff, weird platform stuff. It's kind of disconcerting. Also, ISM or PMI, excuse me, did come below forecast, but still above 50, which is a decent reading, but still below forecast. So that missed. PMI forecast is 50.2, previous 50.8, so we're about to figure out whether or not That brings us down. I mean, at this point, we've kind of moved higher. So I'm not really sure where it would want to head anyway. All right, here comes news. You have the volatility coming in, big spike to the upside. Let's see. Hourly looks like it wants to go for that hourly high. Right up into here. And this fair value gap seems reasonable. Crushed expectations. Very bullish. News comes out bullish here. It's a good reading for ISM. For services. Services pricing managers index, very bullish result. 51.6, forecast 50.2, previous 50.8. So that's an expanding industry. Yeah, this market's continuing to move higher. Again, I like the hourly kind of checkpoint there. It's just like, can I get involved in it, chase this move higher? I don't think so. Unless it gives me some sort of decent retracement. Like I'd probably buy it back in here. Like if it, stopped here or came down here, I'd buy it. If it came into here, I'd think about buying it off of the move of midnight. Big gap though, I mean, in the data. Look at that. Huge imbalance. Surprisingly, it's not really showing up on MNQ. I wonder if it will for NQ. Yeah. So we probably will retrace that move in some way, shape, or form. Just typically how things work. Yeah, it seems like other people are finding some lag issues with Topstep. I don't know if it's specifically the X platform. It's a shame because I like the platform. It's just if I have to switch to a different platform to avoid the trading issues, it's kind of do what you have to do. You don't really have a choice, if you're trying to make money. Okay, so there's retracement into the new day opening gap, old new day opening gap. Let's look at the 4-hour real quick. I just want to mark out where the midpoint is here. So just shy of midpoint, it stopped. That's kind of a good thing for upside. So I definitely do want to take some sort of a long here. I want to be patient though in case it does want to reach into this gap, close up this gap. Otherwise, I really would be looking at the midpoint here to support some sort of move to the upside, but it's hard for me to risk us moving lower into this. I'd rather us move lower into it first, then higher. And if not, then it'll be higher. Then I'll look for some sort of move back into this low. But I just feel like you really have to be patient in this this sort of move. Okay, so now we've moved into that gap low. And out of midnight, let's see if it wants to push out of midnight here. I like that sweep. I am going to get long there. I like to push out of midnight into this gap, left this low alone. Didn't quite hit the 4-hour CE. I said that I was interested in buying it if it did come down here, so I'm doing that. It may want to stab into this gap down here. I also didn't hesitate on the buy either, just because it had already moved back into this 15-minute fair value gap. So realistically, it's had a couple wicks already into there. That's why I ended up buying it when I did. Back into the hourly, which is right here. I could be massively offsides is how it seems, and ES may want to go for these lows, but I'm very surprised that it wouldn't have moved into that high point. I'm going to take a stab at along there, see if it wants to respect the midpoint of that hourly inversion. So right now we're positioned pretty much right at the midpoint of the 15-minute invert as well. How we react here at midnight is very important. And this 15-second gap right above midnight, also important to me. Watching the high here between ES and NQ. Let's see if NQ wants to play catch up with ES as ES takes this high. Running the stop back up. So now you have divergence. I want to see it really run away from that low. I don't like what it's doing there. I need it to run away from midnight. I'm going to partial a few just because we've created the divergence on these highs. And I kind of would have much rather have seen it move off of that area. I like the support it's finding at midnight, but it really does need to play a little bit of catch up into this high here for me to feel a lot more comfortable holding the position. So we pretty much broke even on the first position, and the ad down here we are obviously in profit. So it's a nice move off midnight. Like I said, on the microstructure signature, I'm going to partial one there. I would have much rather seen it move into this open and then just completely bounce away. But we didn't, so I kind of got defensive there. I'm watching the 1 minute to my left. Again, so I just thought it was kind of suspect how we didn't move into the midpoint of the 4-hour gap. Oh, this is not ES. Oh, so sort of a bigger rejection there. I'm going to take a little bit more money off the table, get back to sort of P&L high watermark and let this one kind of do its thing. But for now, let's just see. So yeah, we're just in the 1 minute. I mean, technically, if this is a 1 minute order block, my stop should be plenty safe. I mean, the theoretical stop placement is below the low, but I mean, if we're talking like if this thing's really going to move higher, we have midpoint to protect us, which really should hold, and then you have the midpoint of this wick right next to it on the 1 minute, and then you have a 15-minute invert. You know, I don't know. If it's going to move higher, I don't see it needing to retrace all the way back down into here. So there's the support level that I was talking about. So see all that, how that all lines up nicely. Midpoint of this wick, midpoint of the down close candles on the 1 minute. You have a nice move up out. There you go. So stop is safe. Pretty sick, pretty cool. Nothing new. I'm just gonna take all this away because at this point I'm not adding back into the position. After a push like that, I'd like to just see it continue. I'm not interested in if it comes back down to that area taking an add. I'd rather have seen it just kind of run away without me. And if I was going to add, I should have added in this 1 minute candles wick low here. But other than that, I wouldn't want to see it turn around and give me another opportunity. I wouldn't really welcome that. I added one more just to risk this low. I'll take even. No additional risk on the trade. I like how we were moving at midnight and ES was back at this daily wick open, finding some support there. Yeah, all right. No expansion to the upside, it's fine. Or at least not with me in it. I'm happy to kind of let go of that trade where it was at even with the chance of making more. Difficulty today, 6 out of 10 says ICT. I would agree, it is a tough day. So there you go, probably would have been pretty close to stop there. SMT on these lows. Just watching it. Not really stoked that it's even doing this sort of action. Not gung-ho to get involved. Yes, that low is nice though off the midnight open there. Still 15-minute, using that as support. ES using midnight as support with the divergence on the lows. I want to chase it, but I think I know better. It's a little bit, that's a better entry that it's offering right now into the midnight, but glad I didn't. Just got shoved. I also, I don't know, like ES just with these, right now it's like 50-50 just because we have these lows here for ES. And I understand there's S&T on those lows, but they're just so clean. And then it's 50-50 from the perspective of why didn't we, tap into the midpoint of the 4-hour gap when also we have an hourly candle up here. I guess you could argue that it's this up close candle that's holding on the hourly, but I don't really, it's not that important of a candle. At least I don't see it that way. Hold on, I have an alarm going off. I just have to, it's a little bit of laundry time. Gotta move stuff over to the dryer. I will be right back, so you guys will have to watch the chair for now. Sorry about that. I'm back. Hope you enjoyed chair time. I hope it was meaningful and fun. What did we do? Okay, original stop was still safe, so the ad kind of crushed us, unfortunately. But we'll see. It just kind of seems like a lot of gross action anyway right now. Let's check that. Let's go back here. I forgot to text my girlfriend. Good morning. Let me do that. Whoa. Is there some sort of news that just came out? So I think there was just some news. I'll double check that. Did not show up on regular NQ contracts. So MNQ just got absolutely torched. For what reason, I'm not sure. I wonder. This will be interesting. Hold on. Wouldn't be surprised. Something happened over there. I'm not going to say it out loud, but would not be surprised. Oh, okay, it's Ackman. I don't know if that was really I don't know if that caused this sort of move here, but you have the Bill Ackman headline here. Sorry, everyone. It's not really a very not a super action-packed stream right now, but you know, there's really not too much to do. It's just kind of an ugly sort of day. There's really not just too much to do. My ribs are chopped. Sorry again, guys. It's just, you know, the stream is a little bit dead today. usually have a couple regulars that come in here and say hello, but yeah, there's just not too much going on, not too much stuff. Like, there's nothing I can really say about this besides the fact that it's 50-50 at the moment. I do think it should kind of head higher, but you know, again, we have these equal lows on ES here. Yes, they are S&T lows, but if that's the case, if they hold, I'd rather us kind of move up into, I mean, the hourly chart is still pretty clean in terms of this inversion. It's just the low time frame is really messy. Um, but like I said, I'd much rather see us kind of move into the midpoint of that 4-hour fair value gap. We left that alone, so that makes this whole move down suspicious to me. We also did have the hourly fair value gap target all the way up here, that high. I don't know. I just don't know if this is like a reasonable objective to say, okay, I don't care about this anymore. I'm happy to go lower. Could it be in hindsight? Sure, but in terms of, prediction wise, I don't, it's not very helpful when it does that and then when I'm in the middle of the range. I'd rather see it give me a little bit more before I commit to another trade. You can see, I mean, it's just a consolidation from London's range, Asian London. We're just kind of in a channel, slowly moving lower, but what's up, Diddy? What up, Backtest? How you doing, man? What's up, Diddy? Bro, that's crazy. You're wild. You are absolutely wild for that one. Diddy. Nice try, bro. Excuse me, man. Yeah, not too much to do. YM pretty strong, just barreling, relentless. Three Diddy. Diddy. I don't know what that means, bro. Are you trying to get me to say free Diddy? Because that ain't right. New 15-minute candle soon. About another minute. Backtest, what are you doing? Did you trade today? Is your channel all about backtesting? Is that why your name is Trader Backtest? What's going on? Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear Dow really wants to reach into the weekly open. What does that mean for NQ and ES? Probably that it wants to move a little bit higher as well. I'm having a hard time committing to that. I mean, it's just like scary. Actually, very high resistance on both ends. I mean, you can see it's search and destroy, and like within this 1 minute range, it's search and destroy. Even you can even call it from this range. You know what I mean? Here to here, it's like boom, sweep high, sweep low, sweep high, sweep low. Internal, external, external. What I also like, and it's just stopping so short of like POIs multiple times, which I don't love. Like I'll remark it. I deleted everything because I just didn't think that they'd be very important, but you can see, I mean, we're just stopping shy. Just weird, weird action. Weird action. Need to stretch, man. I'm so tight. Leaning forward in this chair all the time. Dude, we gotta get ICT in here. I mean, he watched one of the videos, I know. He left a comment. I'd love from connect the lows and NQ. Look like retail support. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Pops. I just but yeah, I had caught the comment, caught the little nod from ICT a couple like a week or so ago, but it would be nice if he can get in here and liven up this stream a little bit. That would definitely be helpful. So now we're starting to come down a little bit here. I don't. Maybe now ES makes the run for that low. That's just very internal. I don't know. ICT with the call to the downside. Solid. So ugly, but I think it probably retakes the hourly here. By like retake, I mean it like probably, I don't know. I'm not really sold on the downside yet. Like it did sweep this internal high. It could go for, boom, boom, but I don't know. I got like I feel like it's such nasty action that I really wouldn't be surprised at some sort of move to reclaim the invert here, even though it's like puking it. And on the 5 minute came up, ripped the midpoint, and now it's just like running away. And on the 1 minute, it looks even more bearish. Look how it kind of just taps the open to the last up close candle. Just not sold on it yet. Yeah. I don't know, like this is one of those messy, messy days, I feel like. Dow just like we're just shy of a lot of upside targets, and I just don't see why it would puke without hitting them first, unless obviously it was going to save them to just blast through later. That's obviously a possibility, but what I'm saying is it makes getting involved on downside very difficult when you have failure swings and failure targets. Like everybody talks about failure swings, but nobody really talks about how when price stops just shy of a target, you could argue that it's just generating interest or generating liquidity for that area, but I don't know. With these concepts, you typically look for them to work as intended. So there's that move I kind of was referring to before it gave that one last spike to the downside. How we would probably reclaim on the hourly chart this invert. So we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. It's a pretty strong move to the upside. And you do have S&T on these lows here. Here's the 15-minute catching a bid. Yeah, I don't know. I'll join in there. See if we just get like an immediate pump to the upside. Do we have more S&T now on the highs? Technically, but we'll see if maybe NQ wants to play catch up. Oh, there goes Dow too. I have to be careful. I kind of lost sight of Dow. Dow very close to the weekly open. NQ really needs to start to pump to the upside here. Otherwise, I'm probably fried. But there goes ES. ES looking for more highs. There's a nice pump on NQ. Want to look for these highs at least. And then possibly up into those areas up there. Didn't add into that move just because of where we are in relation to the all the indexes. ES has now taken many highs. Dow's into the weekly open. There's just, it seems like even now, I actually think the smart idea is to probably move a stop to even just because of all the divergence. Like, why risk getting ran on? I think if NQ is going to play catch up, it needs to play catch up very quickly. And it would probably not want to make too deep of a run if it's going to continue higher. And that's if everybody else is closer to a destination. So ES now into this hourly gap. Yeah, it's definitely stop to even time because of where all the other markets are. It's like a nice idea, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool that the trade kind of panned out, you know, and you can kind of see the logic work out, but nothing that I'm, you know, ripping with a whole lot of size to take a lot of advantage of, you know. It's just kind of a boring day, you know. There's just not too much to do. It makes sense for a Monday. There was 9:45 and 10 a.m. news, so it typically tends to be a bit of a cluster today, especially when there's no 8:30 news driver. We're kind of in between two POIs. That's a nice look for NQ here. See how it's tapping this open? Again, it's the same sort of deal that I was talking about earlier. Tap the open and it needs to completely melt to the upside, or else it's not great. It's not as strong. Like, this is a very strong signature if it can just continue to move higher now. with some sort of velocity. If it doesn't, that's, not great. But when I first started the stream, this was actually a trade that I took off of this type of signature, and it's like I made a short out of it because I accidentally entered into 3 regular NQ like E-mini contracts instead of 3 micros. So as soon as I realized, I was like, oh my God, let me get me out of here. But yeah, like that's see how it's moving now, see how it's reacting to that point. You don't want to see it invalidate that point. I'm not going to move the stop because there's really like, what's the difference, $4 or whatever, but you don't want to see it come down and take that. I mean, we'll just cover the commission of the trade, but you want to see, big follow through on NQ now. There is a lot of divergence between ES down and NQ now. NQ is obviously the much slower pair right now. So you may want to be trading, like if you're in this, if you were in this trade and you cared about whether you're going to make money in it or not, I would be trailing it relatively aggressively. Just because, I mean, at any point can this kind of spike down and we can continue this sort of seek and destroy condition. Like, look what we did here. We just made more equal lows. So I really wouldn't be surprised if it wants to come down and stop us out. Right now, I'm holding it though because you don't see the weakness out of NQ and ES, or excuse me, YM and ES, which is most important. If you had the subtle point of weakness within YM and ES, then you have to be really careful with NQ because NQ is the weaker one to begin with. It's the laggard. So you'd, as soon as they feign weakness, NQ is going to feign 10 times the amount. Like right now, like that little move there. Yeah, see how quick that happens? The slightest bit of weakness, as soon as it happens, you get a complete meltdown. Again, I mean, our stop is in a hopefully safe space. It just kind of came down and took that low. Yeah, I don't know. I think we could be chalked. It's got to kind of restart vigorously here. Now at this point, I mean, we'll move the stop to below this low, because what's the point? We'll at least take our $5. Where did I start this? Like P&L wise, I wonder where were we? 450. So we made 25 bucks since the stream started. Just a slow day. Yeah, 450. That's fine. Slow action, guys. Not like I said, not much to do. Not much to do, not much to say. There you go. Definitely want to see NQ push up out of here. This is what we're contending with at the moment. That's an ugly gap. That's going to cause for a lot of problems this week. I don't like the weakness in YM. I mean, it makes a lot of sense considering where it is in relation to everybody else, i.e. ES and NQ, but I'd much rather, like, if it's going to be the pumper, let it pump. Rada, what's up, man? Good morning, good morning. How are you? Came in here hot. Am I saying your name right? It's Rada or Retta? I know I asked this before, but I've forgotten. I don't want to say it wrong. Retta. Retta. All right, we need NQ to really just pick up steam above this high. Then we go into the mic. Whoa, okay. I don't know. I mean, lock in 20 bucks, I guess. And I just because you have midpoint of this wick, right? You have this here. So that's giving this. That's a good trail, I'd say, like below here. I don't know. I want to make something off of the trade. I don't want to hold all this for nothing. You pronounced it good. Okay, when did I pronounce it good? Because I did say it twice. Is it Retta or Reda? Like like pronouncing Raydah, like Rayda or Redda. Yo, Abdullah, how are you, man? I'm doing well. I'm doing good, dude. How are you? Bit of a slow morning, guys. So there you go, 6 support. Love that. I gotta love that stop placement, right? Second one, so Reda. Or no, sorry, Reda. Sorry, I know we're back and forth a million times on this. Reda, 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 Reda. Yeah, all right, sick. We're back, boys. We're back. Yeah, cool. So 6 support. Mark that one out. Good stop placement. So midpoint, right, of this wick from that formed this invert fair value gap. So the midpoint here, and then you also have this BISI, 15-second chart. Please don't come down and stop me out now. That would be sad. But again, we do have a lot of divergence on the highs, so holding this is pretty risky. It's just what I'm hoping for is if it does really take, like, if NQ does begin to take off, it's going to take off in a nice way. Seek and destroy because of FOMC this week. Yeah, you're right. It is very dirty range, you know. You're probably right. I mean, it's so much divergence. I like it's opportunity cost right now. It's like if I hold on to this trade and Cube plays catch up, I have a great, like it's gonna really speed up to the upside and I'm gonna have an awesome trade. If not, I come away with 20 bucks. And then it's kind of that's it. It's super suspect too. Wow, look where NQ's getting shoved on the 1 minute. It's just riding these highs up here. Really ugly. You took some or nothing? No, I traded. So I traded last night. I actually took a trade in Asia, which is like very rare. I almost never do that. But I saw a good opportunity. It was on the hourly chart. So as we were floating around here between both ES and NQ, there was some divergence on the 1 minute. It was right here. So we had SMT on these lows between NQ and ES, and this high here was an hourly fair value gap high that just never was breached on either ES or NQ. So I took the long right in here and just got a good move to the upside. That was up like 400 and some dollars, like 450 actually. So today's just been really slow. Read up. We were in. I was in shorts here. I think I took a couple shorts this morning, and they just were very lackluster. Just no real follow through, so I got stopped out on one even, and then another one for a bit of a loss. Then we took a long, and made it back, and just been kind of taking longs, ever since playing that game. But yeah, nothing too. It's been a whole lot of waiting. It's been a really boring session. And it's been a tricky one, you know, like these lows, like when hourly came all the way down here. Originally, this hourly wick was right at the middle. It was a really beautiful setup to the upside. Came down, seek and destroy, right? Took these low here. And as it was getting real ugly over here, I actually, before this spike down, I pretty much said that it was probably going to reclaim this as an invert to continue up higher. Gave one more spike down that was very tricky. And then as it continued up higher, I took the long. So on the microstructure, you'll see, you know, I pretty much just got long after we came down and tested this fair value gap at midnight. And I was looking at YM at the time. YM wanted to punch into the weekly open, and ES was also bullish for the highs. So I just figured, you know what, I'll just take that little trade here. I wasn't going heavy just because of all the how unorganized and uncorrelated the indexes are right now. So, and thank you very much. Very good one at Asia. Yeah, it was a great trade. I was like, it's scary trading Asia because of how slow it is, but that's also why I packed on as much size as I did. I was in a couple like full size contracts for the trade. I obviously trimmed them pretty quickly, but Asia, like if I see something, I like to kind of get in there, you know. Kivin, who's Kivin? Great job, Kivin. You did a great job, Kivin. Who's that? Am I? Is that me? Kivin? I really don't want to let go of this trade, but I like look how it's packing in with these equals over here. I feel like it wants to just puke those lows, those highs. I typically would attack these. I thought that was your name. No, dude. That's not my name. That's okay. That's all right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the kudos. You know what I mean? I heard it wrong. That's okay. So yeah, typically I would attack these highs, but I'm like very fearful of them at the moment. Like could just be some accumulation because of the divergence. It could just be accumulation for a short and then manipulate lower. My name's Gabe Retta. Gabe. Cave. No. Gabe. Close. Gabe with a B, not a V. I get Dave a lot. A lot of people think my name is Dave. Well, they sound similar. Gabe and Dave on the phone sound very similar. Gabe. Well, here I could just write it in the chat. I forgot I could just write in the chat. Nice to meet you again, Gabe. Nice to meet you again, bro. Close. We're getting there. We're getting there. Vape. Is FOMC on Wednesday? Do we have a rate announcement on Wednesday? Yeah, wow. I didn't really see that coming, to be honest with you. Kind of forgot about that. Might be. So yeah, look at that, guys. Our trade is working out in our favor, which is cool. Am I still holding? Yeah, I'm still in it. I'd like it to go. This here's like the 4-hour CE. I'd like it to at least tap into there. I'm thinking about dumping out of it, Retta, just because. Man, this is a toughie because ES didn't take this high; it just made equals. This is a hard one. Yeah, ES didn't take the high, which is suspect, but it could just generate liquidity for a retracement. Like, remember how I always talk about it's not necessarily about whether I'm right about the macro anymore once I'm in a trade. It's like, especially if I'm holding, it's more so about, am I right about it? Not, the next decision becomes like, is my stop safe and is it worth me risking the distance between the stop and target for however many more points I'm going to hold for? Although, like, I don't know. It's a very difficult decision here because I do think ES probably could have moved a little bit higher, and it hasn't yet. So it has room to move higher up into that hourly gap. And then also I like on NQ this 1 hour volume imbalance. It has the 4 hour CE, and then it also has this 15-minute failure swing sort of trend line liquidity with the gap right here. So ideally, I'd like to hold for that. I don't know. It's moving a little slow. I'd like it to just kind of continue up higher here. Like ES could, it's just the type of day that it is. It could obviously easily be some sort of like come down, ramp lower, and completely screw me. But okay, there's a nice move. Now I'll trail below these lows. We've obviously hit into the midpoint here. I think it's got to go up into that, but it could be asking a lot. You killed it. Congratulations. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, where are those dudes at from Friday that said fate? Those guys are. That was a rough day on Friday, but and I get it's all fun. Like, nobody's really at my neck to be at my neck, but when you're having a bad day, that's pretty much the last thing you want to deal with is somebody chirping you. But definitely a good recovery day. Good recovery day for sure, my G's. I like that low. Come on, push up. Let me trim over here. I'll lock that low in. 92. 92 is fine. Ticked out. Is it gonna rip now? That would suck. That's okay. Yeah, ticked out. Lose and win trades. Yeah, this is trading. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, it really is. It really is. It is a business and it is difficult, but you have bad days. And, Friday was a bit of an ugly day. Friday's like, the I'm human day where, I make mistakes too. I'm not prone to being I'm not completely emotionless. Even here, I mean, I moved I wanted $90 instead of, 79 or whatever. But again, like, I don't know, I'm pretty stoked with that sort of result. But yeah, I'm prone to the common mistakes as well. I'm not perfect, but when I'm on my game, I trade pretty well. If as long as and obviously the market has to cooperate as well. All right, so there you go. I'm happy with moving the stop up here because we just would have been stopped out for 80 as opposed to 92. Whip-de-doo. But yeah, I don't know, like if the mark and the thing is Friday unfortunately was just very difficult conditions, and I just really over pushed in those difficult conditions. I took a couple losses early, which hurt, and I think that was also the down. Like when I really analyzed the day, it was the losses earlier that really got me into trouble because I was holding those long trades, even though they were $300, $400, or $500 in profit, in full without taking partials because I was trying to. Well, one, the DOL, the draw on liquidity was still valid, so it made sense for me to hold, but I was incentivized to hold because I was red, and so because I was incentivized to not take any partials to try to get out of the hole completely, that was kind of the downfall. Now, if you take away those other trades, that had me red earlier in the day, and I'm up $400 or $500 in the, in a trade. I mean, you've seen me trade before. Obviously, I'm taking partials from that position. I'm at least $100 out of that trade. You know what I mean? Like I typically don't like to let trades come back and stop me at even very often, and I think that also was the problem. Is that I kind of recognized that I don't know. It's a tough day. I regret it obviously because I was wrong. Had it worked, I wouldn't have regretted what I was doing. You know what I mean? But it was just about I don't know, like yeah, I don't even know I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah, it's okay. Long story short, it's fine. And then I like, what I was really upset with though is that this account, like I reset this account and then quickly just dusted the like $1,000 loss limit just because just to like blow off steam. I feel like that's what I did. I should have just did some push-ups, but instead I just dusted 1,000 and I don't know. Sometimes it feels like you like kind of self-regulate. Like I self-regulate, like almost like I punish myself if I do something bad subconsciously, of course. Like I'm not like, oh, I traded bad, let me dig myself into a deeper hole to like reprimand myself. Like I don't think like that consciously, but subconsciously I definitely it was probably a factor. And then also subconsciously it was probably I just probably wanted to get up from the chair as well. And sometimes like I'm definitely not a quitter, you know what I mean? So I will kind of continue to grind and trade it out until uh it's like boom or bust, which is not a great way to go about it. So it's not like boom or bust on purpose. It's just, like I'll keep going until I can't anymore. Like it's hard for me to convince myself to just stop the day on a loss. That is, with if I still have buying power left, and if I, regardless of whether I want to get up from the chair or not. But so Friday was an example where it's like I just wanted to be done. So in order for me to have no choice to be done, I like blew out part of the account, if that makes sense. So it is what it is. It is what it is. It's okay. We've recovered half of Friday's blunder, so that's fine with me. Yeah, I mean, that's correct. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent, U.S. Markets are anti-fragile over the long-term horizon. It's never a bad time to invest in America. That's about the best way you could put the stock market in the U.S. Is that pretty much what he says is over time the market only goes up. The chart is always up and to the right, so it's never a bad time to throw money in it. It's kind of what I was telling my friends when the market was down, towards the lows. I said, look, this market only goes up. When it's on sale, you buy it, and you buy it heavily. Yeah, exactly, Retta. I also like so, and that was kind of why I chose to take the trade, like to start to trail really aggressively, Retta, even though my target's all the way up here for NQ and even higher. Well, actually, that could just be it. Hold on 1 minute. Let me check. Yeah. So this was the target. So my target's here, right? But I'm gonna feel like a dunce if I, have a trade up around here and I get stopped all the way down at even. Like I feel like so dumb, and that'll be upsetting. So that's why I took it off. So I'd rather feel like relatively smart and take the trade off where I did, and instead of feel like a greedy idiot, getting stopped out at even. How was your morning, Retta? I meant to ask. How are you doing? No trades? Yeah, I don't blame you. I kind of came into the, I mean, realistically, I basically took, it looks like I traded a lot today, and yeah, tape reading smart. It looks like I had a lot just because of the Asia trade, was a huge portion. Like I've only made an extra $110, $116 since this market open morning. I mean, look at that. Look how gross that is. Look at that action. Look how it's just running stops, trying to get people trailed out. But yeah, I've only made like an extra 116 bucks. Like I started the stream with 450 from Asia. And today, I mean, it could have been up another like when I was short somewhere over here, I could have made more, you know what I mean? Like I think I was in like 4 micros and up like 150 or 160 at times, which just kind of was holding it. Or maybe it was here actually. I think it was this trade. Towards the yeah, it was this. I was trading the bottom end of this hourly gap and just kind of got stopped out small. Good for you, man. No FOMO. Yeah, I struggle with that sometimes. Sometimes I worry about missing the obvious move. It's dumb because they're literally I find a million of them, every day. Like you know what I mean? Like it's for me, I think a lot of my skill comes from being able to just read price raw. So for that, like I've kind of learned that I could find a setup pretty much anywhere. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to chase. Although I do get like FOMO rate Retta is like when there's a really obvious draw, it gets very difficult for me to kind of give that up because it's like we cling to certainty. When there's some bit of certainty in the market, like you really want to hold on to that because typically you're operating in a very uncertain environment, and when you feel that there's a degree of certainty, that obviously causes you to chase trades that seem obvious to you, and you kind of get caught up in that. Viraj, what's up, bro? How are you doing, man? Did you have a good trading day today? Viraj, trading the Nifty. Yeah, same to me. Yeah. I'm glad it makes sense, Retta. I'm glad it makes sense to you as well. It's just a difficult, it's hard. It's hard to, deal with. Let's check out the Nifty for Viraj here. Let's see what he was trading on. Nifty 50 index. Dang, Viraj. How's the session going? Session's going good, bro. I had a good trade overnight in Asia, and a couple good trades, like no terrible trades today in the AM session, which was great. Like I avoided a lot of disastrous trades in the AM session. Then just tried like I got heavy on one trade. Like this is the one trade that I was sort of heavy in, 3, 4, 5 contracts or so. Micros, of course. But after that trade didn't really pan out, Viraj. I just started to I traded very small, couple upside trades that got stopped out at even, and you know that was it. So this is the Nifty. Viraj, this thing looks like a mess, man. Oh my God. What a rally though from April. Long trade at 915. We're at, yeah. I mean, that makes sense off the SMT, I'm assuming, Retta, from London. And put P&L string level at 15-minute. Yeah, that makes sense. I was looking at that as the long too. Or at least as long possibility. I was looking at the SMT between and Q and ES on during London lunch. Faraj, what were you trading on the Nifty, man? I'm assuming you've just been crushing longs all day, right? Or like ever since April 7th, just getting relentlessly long. Let's do a little bit of Nifty analysis for our man. It's a nice little sweep on this low, immediately run to the upside, apply these highs. Yeah, I'm sure you're looking at this gap, right, Faraj? Towards all-time highs. Yeah, weekly chart, 25,257. Looks nice. It's kind of a similar chart to NQ here. You know, guys, I'm actually going to, it's a little hard to trade. Yeah, I'm sure, Viraj. Yeah, so a lot of it's very choppy, I noticed, Viraj. A lot of it was very choppy. Like if I look at it, you're in consolidation most of the time. So I don't know how you've been doing it. Like this type of day would probably crush me. Like I don't do great in consolidations, especially if there's like a very, I don't do good in consolidations if there's a very one-sided draw, because I'll get stopped out a million times trying to catch that draw. Hmm. Guys, you know what? I'm gonna cut the stream pretty early today. I have to start studying for some of these exams. I did not get to bed until later last night. Um, Sorry, I'd love to hang out a little bit longer, but there's really just not much to do for the day here. I'm gonna mark out some of these lows. We'll see maybe if we get some sort of really puke lower in the week. That's kind of what I'll be looking at for ES. For NQ, obviously, I've marked out the 8:30 low as well from Friday. This 8:30 wickless candle I like as well here as a target for NQ. And then obviously the hourly fair value gaps, or excuse me, the 15-minute fair value gaps here and here. And then you also have these dusty looking lows over here. So yeah, so I'm gonna be out, guys. I'm just gonna call it today. It's kind of watching paint dry, and we made plenty. So that's gonna be it. I hope everybody has a great day today. Thanks for stopping by, especially the usual guys. I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out and keeping me company while I trade. I will see you guys tomorrow. What's the deal for tomorrow as far as news goes? Trade balance, nothing. 10-year bond auction at 1 o'clock. So nothing, no real news tomorrow. It's just kind of FOMC week. We'll probably be pretty defensive. It's funny, as soon as I'm ready to get going, there's always more viewers come to pile in, which is hysterical. But I'm sorry, I'm sure you guys will probably leave pretty quickly anyway because you know, we're not really doing anything left for the day. So yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see what happens. As for now, I mean, we're looking at this level here, NQ to maybe reach up into this gap right above these highs, maybe not because it's just reached into the 4-hour CE and it's getting shoved. But yeah, Fed right now. Thank you, Faraj. You have a good day too. Fed bids for 6-month bill auction right now. I'd look for some volatility, but you know, no promises here. I'd just stay careful on a day like today. It's not really worth getting cracked up. So yeah, see you guys later. I hope you have a great day. Thank you guys again for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and anybody else that's in here. Obviously, I know my regulars are with me already, but if you're new and you'd like to stream, come back. I'm live every day, Monday through Friday, except for Thursday. All right, see you guys later. Take care.